Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good day. Wherever you are, whenever you're seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, today I'm going to be talking about a download that I got about purpose being the real currency. So this is going to be a very powerful message. I'm very excited to share with you guys. I feel like I've been MIA for about a week and a half. There's a lot that I have been working on. So I guess I'll just give you guys a little sneak peek at what's coming next. If you guys have been keeping up with me on Instagram, then you know that I'm going to be launching my podcast, The Exactly Pod, on February 13th. I'm very excited about launching the podcast. It's something that my best friend and I are going to be doing together. So I'm very, very excited to do it. I know you guys know that I have a podcast of my own and I used to have a talk show, but I love having conversations with somebody. I really feel like podcasts and talk shows are so much better when it's not just one person. So I'm super excited to give you guys, another perspective, I guess, into life and into womanhood. So I'm very excited about stepping into that. I am going to get back on my podcast, but I've been so busy, guys. But it's all really, really great stuff. We know Valentine's Day is coming up, so I am going to be doing some in-depth love readings where we're going to be getting into relationships. We're going to be getting into romance, friendships, family relationships, and self-love. So those readings are going to be available. I'm going to post, how you guys can get one at the top of the description box. I've been working with a lot of nonprofits. I've been working with a lot of clients for my social media. Hello to my social media girls. So I've been feeling really good about everything and just putting in the work. I hope you guys have been feeling good about 2025. I feel like this year has been exactly what I anticipated it to be. I really feel like the year has still just begun, but I know a lot of people have had a very strenuous January. And that's why we're going to be getting into a collective reading as well. I'm going to be doing 2 videos for you guys today because I know I've been MIA, but this is the first one that you're going to get. This is a download that I got. Well, I was in prayer a couple of days ago, and there's 2 messages that I got. One about something that I was praying for, and God gave me clarity. But something else is a lot of us don't have clarity because we just have not asked God. Like the second you ask God, the second you sit there praying for something, the answer will come to you while you're sitting there talking to God. Like we always talk about, I always tell people to talk out loud when you're having problems and issues and when you're trying to understand, because you'll start to put the pieces together. And that's not by accident. Like when we're talking and we're intentionally trying to figure out what's going on and what's happening for us, and we know God and God knows us, God is going to start revealing those answers to you. Like we do so many things in prayer without even realizing that we're praying. You don't have to say a script to be in prayer. When you asking for help and you asking for guidance and clarity and understanding, and you know that God is the only person that can give you those things, who you think is, providing you with that intuitive knowledge? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to just make sure you're praying as much as possible. Make sure you're talking to God and you're being intentional about it. And whenever I'm moving around and getting ready, I love to talk on the phone. Like I love to just have my husband on the phone or my best friend on the phone or somebody on FaceTime. I love to just sit around and talk on the phone all day if I ain't got nothing to do. And I wanted to talk on the phone and nobody was available. So I was like, And then I was like, well, I guess I'll just talk to God. And that's not really good that God was my last choice. I'm sorry, Lord. But, in that moment, I was like, we need to really intentionally talk to God more, because I just started talking to God just right there, just talking about what I had going on. And I didn't really need anything. I wasn't really, sad about anything or, unhappy about anything. But, I was just kind of, as I started, talking to God, I realized that, there are things that are bothering me. There are things that I need. Even though I thought I was okay in this moment, there are things that I'm wondering about and worrying about. So even when we don't need prayer, we do. That's why the Bible tells us to pray without ceasing. I have this actually tatted on my arm, pray without ceasing. Because you always need prayer, even when you don't think you do. So we need to pray to God more and talk to God more. But the message that I got specifically that I wanted to bring to you guys, I literally forgot about the prayer message, but I'm glad I opened up with that. Make sure you praying to God more. And I have a full video on prayer, I believe. So I know I have a video on prayer that you can find. So just look into my old videos and you'll be able to find that. But I'm always somebody that's worried about money, just because I hold myself to a very, very high standard. My dad was a very successful entrepreneur. I'm the only girl. I have 6 brothers. So I'm used to being around people that are very, very well off. I, of course, want to be well off. I feel like I've done really well for myself, being that I feel like I took a different route, than anybody else in my family, and I've kind of had to figure things out on my own. I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, but I'm always worried about not being able to take care of myself. I'm always worried about, something not happening and something not being paid and something not being taken care of. And my lights have never gotten turned off. Like I always take care of myself. I handle my responsibilities. So there's no reason for me to feel that way. But that's just something that I'm always nervous about. Like, yes, I can do it, but what if I can't? What if something happens and I can't? And I think it's partly because what I do is so based on this new world that we live in. If the internet were to go down, I wouldn't be the only person looking crazy on the streets. The streets would be a whole community because we'd all be on the streets, but there's so many things that can affect all of our livelihoods. I feel like even people in, jobs can kind of worry about that, I don't drive. I'm an Uber and Lyft girl. And I was in an Uber the other day, and my Uber was a guy that had been working in the IT industry for 40 years. He had been with this one company from, I think he told me like sometime in the 80s to 2022. They laid off a bunch of people that had been at the company for 20 or 30 years. And he had been doing Uber to basically, I meet so many people that are doing Uber, that are doing side gigs to make money after having careers for their entire lives, after having like a lot of people, their parents are sick or, something has come up. And I'm always worried about something like that happening to me, because a lot of, life happens. And, I think that's something that can be in the back of a lot of people's mind. And I'm just always kind of, anxious about that in general because I have anxiety. So that's another thing for me to worry about. But while I was sitting there, that came up to me. And I was like, well, I know I'm okay. I know that God is always going to provide for me. I know I'm always going to be fine. But I kind of asked myself in that moment, like, why? Why am I always going to be provided for? Why am I always going to be okay? Like, why? And it came to me that because I have a purpose. And because I have a purpose and because I'm not done yet, I'm always going to be taken care of until my purpose is complete. And then, I don't have any reason to be here. But, the truth is that God will provide for you as long as you are here because you still have work to do. And, I think that we forget that that's the whole point that we're in this simulation. We forget that it's because we have work to do. And I think that all of us have, important work to do, whether you're going to be touching billions of people or millions of people or just changing the lives of your children or your best friends or the people in your community. I don't think anything is seen as insignificant. I think just like all bad is bad, I think that all good is good. All purpose is good purpose. All impact is good impact. So I think that, knowing that God is going to take care of you is one thing, but knowing that God is going to take care of you because your purpose is still unfolding is, for whatever reason, that gives me a little something more tangible to hang on to, because there can be a lot of disconnect that we feel between us and Source. Like, yes, I know that Source is taking care of me. Yes, I know that Source is right here with me no matter what. But, what am I doing for Source? What am I doing? Like, how am I walking? How am I moving? What am I doing with the security that I'm being given? How am I showing up? And also, why me? Why me? Like, there's purpose for all of us, but it's like, okay, if you feel like you're destined for something big, or you feel like you're destined for a certain thing, you may feel like, why me? Or yes, you're going to take care of us, but why me specifically? Like, what do I have to do with this? Yes, you love us, but me specifically, why? And that's just how me and God are. It's always been like that with me and God. Like, I need to know for Christian Gordon what it is. I know what it is for everybody else, but I need to know what it is for me, because a lot of times we hear these general messages like everything happens for a reason. There's always more for us to do, and there's always a blessing around the corner. We hear all of these general statements, and people are like, okay, what that mean for me though? And I posted a photo dump earlier this week, and the first picture said, when you see God blessing somebody, start clapping because God's in the neighborhood. And somebody was like, people were in the comments like, how big is the neighborhood? Or, I've been clapping, I'm still waiting, and perspective is everything. So I can wait as long as I need to if I know that I'm waiting on something, And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. And I think you can just get that if you just ask. So I want you guys to definitely pray more and ask God more, to fill in those blanks for you, so you don't just force yourself to believe something when you know you need something else. If you know you need a little bit more, God will give you that. God isn't going to say, why are you asking me about that? Now you're dead, I'm going to kill you. That's not what God is going to do. God will be like, okay, I know you were a little inquisitive. Here you go. Here's the answer. You might not know everything. In that moment, I didn't hear my purpose, but I heard that, it's because of my purpose. That's why I'm always going to be taken care of. If it's because of my purpose that I don't need to worry. I don't need to have fear. I don't need to, not feel like I'm going to be taken care of. I don't need to feel like I'm going to lose it all, because no matter what happens, it's in according to my purpose. No matter what happens, it's in according to my purpose. So that means that it's ordained. That means that it's bigger than me. That means that I'm going to be kept whole in those moments as long as I keep my eyes on the prize, which is God and my purpose. And that is how people can have nothing and feel like they have everything, because they see their purpose. And that's where, that's always kind of how I've seen myself. I've always seen myself eventually having nothing and feeling like I have everything. In the future, I've never really, I stopped seeing myself in mansions when I was like 11. I've always wanted to be like on a farm, like with not a lot of stuff, just kind of away from everything, and literally just feeling like I'm on top of the world. Like, just feeling like I'm the richest person in the world with my chickens, and my satellite and my, my solar panels, on my stream. I've always felt like, that's kind of what I wanted. So I think that it can be easy to feel like, no matter what you want, because I'm not even the type of person that wants a very flashy, materialistic end game, but it's not even about that. I think a lot of people that worry about being secure in today's society, you're not even worried about getting a new car and being able to do this. You're worried about your immediate future, and you're wondering, if you're going to be okay in the immediate future, if you're going to be able to sustain like you have been sustaining, because I think we've seen, that so many things have happened in the world, and we don't know what we're going to have to do. We don't know if we need to have money to move. We don't know if we're going to have to make a bunker. We don't know if we're going to have to go in the ground. We don't know if we need to start buying our own chickens because eggs is $35. We don't know what we need to do. But I think everybody outside of what's going on right now, well, outside of the people who are naturally always worried, I think there's a more heightened energy sense of, I need to have myself together. I need to be self-sufficient. I need to be able to take care of myself. And we have to remember, what's the whole point of that? Like, it's no point of being able to be comfortable and take care of yourself if you're not able to walk in your purpose and do the things that you need to do, because that's the whole point of you being here. And your purpose will fill you, it'll give you the joy and the peace that you're looking for, because money isn't going to give you that. Like, that's why your purpose is your currency, because that's what you want your bank account filled with. You want to be filled with purpose. You want to know that you're supposed to be here, and knowing that you're supposed to be here, and knowing that nothing can go on unless you're here doing what you're supposed to do. That's how grand we should feel about what we, are putting into our environment, and, into the people around us and into our surroundings. We should feel like it can't go unless we're there, obviously, because you're there, So I think that I've spent a lot of time just feeling very insignificant. I think that the spiritual journey kind of makes you feel insignificant if you're doing it right, where you just experience an ego death. Well, maybe not everybody. People's journeys are different. Some people get on their spiritual journey and the first thing they do is inflate their own head. But for me, my spiritual journey, and I think it also has a lot to do with, my mental health issues, you know what I'm saying? It's easy for me to feel like I don't matter, and I feel like I used to feel that way in a negative sense, but stepping into my spirituality made me, kind of recognize the humbleness, the humility. Humbleness is probably a word too, I don't know, but humility in recognizing like, oh, I don't matter, and not having it be a bad thing, but having it be something that just causes you to enjoy life from a more freer perspective, instead of taking things so seriously and feeling like the mistakes that you make are going to be the end of you. I think, finding the power and being like, you know what? I don't matter. You know, it helps you walk away from bad relationships. It helps you walk away from stuff instead of feeling like, how dare they do this to me? Or I'm going to stay here until I make them love me. And I can't believe this is happening to me. And I'm not going to, it's like, you know what? Hey, it's going to happen to everybody. What makes me different than the next person? Am I going to never experience pain or heartbreak or betrayal? Like, I'm no better than anybody else. You know, I don't really matter. I'm going to experience whatever just like everybody else experiences. I think, you know, it's allowed me to just accept life because, you know, I've had really, 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 really terrible, you know, like just people passing away. Like when my father passed away, I had never experienced anything like that. And I was 14. So I went a long time just being like, my life's perfect. So initially I was like, how dare this happen to me? How dare this happen to me and my family? You know, but a couple of years ago, I had another really, really tragic, traumatic passing in my family. And, you know, I didn't feel like, how dare this happen to me? I just kind of felt like, okay, you know, like I'm able to accept things and not blame God or not feel like I, you know, should never feel those types of ways because I know that's a reality. I know sometimes I'm going to feel like this or sometimes I'm going to feel like this, and it just is what it is. And I feel like I'm getting back into my season. I said all that to say I'm getting back into my season of realizing how important I am, you know, and I am finding the way to kind of not rebirth my ego, but just rebirth that part of myself that knows that this shit can't run unless I'm here, because that's the truth about it. So I'm interested in seeing how that kind of changes my perspective, but knowing how important my currency is, my purpose, knowing how valuable I am, knowing how rich I am in spirit. Like when people say rich in spirit, that's what they're talking about. I know what people are talking about now when they say rich in spirit. I don't know if they're really talking about purpose, but that's what it means to me. Rich in spirit to me means that God is not done with me. Okay, God is not done with me. I am not done. You know, I am really just getting started. Every day I'm just getting started. Even the day before my last day, I will have just gotten started in fulfilling my purpose, because everything that you do is so significant and life-changing and life-altering. Nothing that you do is insignificant. Everything you do matters. You know, the person that scrolls by your post and they have a little chuckle and it makes their day a little bit better for 10 seconds, that's just as important as a person whose life you completely save, you know? So I think just knowing that every day you're making an impact, so God will provide for you. Every day you have a chance to do something great, and you will do something great. Every day you fulfill your purpose, whether you want to or not, because our purpose isn't about having a great day every day. Sometimes your purpose is to be broken in front of people, so you can later be repaired in front of those same people. You know, sometimes our purpose is to completely lose ourselves. It's to go to a path that's so dark and deep we don't think we're ever going to get out of it, and then we hit the corner and walk back through that thing. I must swerve on that corner. And I'm not even about to be singing that song, because can y'all believe that he cheated on Miss Nikki, baby? Ain't that sad? Sidebar. But, you know, sometimes we may have to just backpedal and step into something that we, you know, aren't used to being in, you know, but it's going to give us what we need and it's going to support us. And I think that, you know, having more life to live and knowing that it's not just about you, but it's about everything that's connected to you, like that's why you're always going to be okay. That's why you're always going to be okay. And we need to, of course, redefine okay, but I think okay means you'll always have a connection to God. You'll always be able to say what's going on, what's happening. I need some answers. I need some clarity. Like God's direction will never be out of reach for us. And that's such a blessing and a gift that we can always say, God, what's happening? What's happening? What is this? You know, and even if we confused and we're not ready for the answer, we can say, give me strength. Give me peace of mind. Give me courage. Give me an open heart. You know, put me in a space where I'm prepared for what you have to show me. Let me be ready for this next season. Let me have my mind right. Let me have my energy right. Let me have my spirit right. You know, we can really put ourselves in the perfect place that we need to be in to succeed and to thrive and to be who God wants us to be, because that's really the only reason that we're here. You know, no matter what you believe in, no matter what you think, no matter if you believe in God, no matter if you worship in whatever, because you know what American Horror Story is this? Sidebar, but not a sidebar. The American Horror Story, I think it's the Apocalypse American Horror Story. I can't remember, but when they have the Antichrist and the satanic people are having the church. Now, I don't know if these are Satanists or what specific type of religion, but these people are having the church, they devil worshipers, and they're basically trying to bring a bunch of crime. They're like, what have y'all been doing? And somebody was like, I stole out the church collection plate. And it was like, stole out the church collection plate? We need some murders. We need some assaults. We need some people getting kidnapped. Like, they were basically trying to get the members of the church to do bad stuff to bring about the Antichrist, you know? So I feel like, you know, no matter what you believe in, no matter what, you know, thing, you feel like you're here to do a purpose for whatever God you serve. Your God has you here to fulfill a purpose for them. You are, you know, fulfilled and given a chance to live and exist because your God, your source, the person that created you in this moment, made you for that. Now, I think people that's agnostic, they don't believe in none of that. But if you believe in something, no matter what God it is, you know you're here for something. You know you're put here for something specific, that they want you to do something. And I think that being chosen by something that's bigger than us, by something that's better than us, whatever you believe, whatever you think, but Jesus paid the price. So, you know, I feel like knowing that you are chosen, you know, by an energy that could choose anybody. And they chose you in your past lives and your history and your flaws and your weaknesses and your strengths and your genetic makeup, who you are, everything you've seen, the people you come from, who you're going to be. You've been chosen specifically to complete something that is going to give the people around you what they need to do their job. And them doing their job is helping you do your job. And it's all very, very interconnected. And I believe I've said before, because we all have very insignificant parts to play, that's how significant they all are. Because we all are playing the same role. You know, we all get the same medal at the finish line. We all get the same medal at the finish line. You know, we all get to go right back into this experience, whether we're here or somewhere else. And, you know, that is a very humbling space to be in. But it's also a space of great pride, because your purpose doesn't end here. You know, there's going to be more that you're going to learn and experience as you go later down the line. And because you're chosen for something that only you can do, you know, you're always going to be taken care of. God always got you. And you can always ask for blessings and confirmation and signs and for the right people to connect with you. Like, you can ask these things and know that they are done. And be mindful of the type of person that you want to be and who God has called you to be. And you can ask God, who am I called to be? Who do you want me to be? You know, sometimes God will show you who you're supposed to be. That's what I think. I think a lot of people get visions of who they're supposed to be. You know, I've got a vision of who I'm supposed to be. And I can't wait to be her. And I know the exact outfit that she had on because I can literally see it as clear as day. This is like a vision I had in 2020. And, you know, I can't wait to get dressed and look in the mirror and be like, oh, bitch, this is it. Like, I have it on. Like, this is the outfit from the vision. I made it, you know? I think that everybody has that moment where you envision yourself in a certain space and then you get there. You know, for some of us, it might be being a mother. For some of you, it might be graduating. It might be starting your own business. It might be, you know, having that moment with your parents that you never thought you would have. You know, like, God gives us different visions of, you know, where we're going to be and how we're going to be able to grow and move forward. And you can ask for those things. So ask for those things. And, you know, just trust that your purpose is enough for you to be taken care of. Trust that it's significant enough for you to be taken care of. And, you know, find the balance between knowing the part that you play in everything, but also knowing how important you are and knowing that nobody else can, you know, play your role except for you. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this message. Just a little chit chat about the download that I got about, you know, purpose being our real form of currency, and that being what really gives us our value and what gives us our worth. And we are all, you know, just as valuable and as worthy as the next person. Because like I said, there's no little purpose and big purpose, no matter what you're here for. You know, like I said, if you're here to make one person feel good or a million people feel good, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And that's what it's about. It's about doing what you're supposed to do. And as long as we're able to do that, we'll be able to continue to move past, you know, the spaces that maybe we thought would break us once upon a time, you know. And that is very, very fulfilling, you know, and validating, you know, to know that you being who you are and you being handpicked to be in this experience is enough for you to be taken care of throughout the duration of the experience. So yeah, and of course that means different things for different people, but I know that God is always going to be with us, and we can always ask for answers, ask for signs, and we can change our life no matter where we are, no matter what point we want to, because people have done it. No matter what it is that you want to do, people have done more with less. People have done more with less. Know that. And, you know, trust yourself and trust God, and don't feel like you're doing this alone, and don't feel like it's for nothing. So yes, I love y'all, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this message. Check the description down below to check into all of the tea, get you an in-depth love reading for this love week that we're going to be having. I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys next time. Let me know how you felt about this message down below in the comment section. I will see you guys next time as always, and I love y'all. Bye. Bless.